use our website. That's tvcentertainment.tv.
Yes, of course. My name is Winfrey Agbelishe.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinsan. We are also on GOTV channel 16, UHF channel 49, StarTimes channel 121. Don't forget to connect with us on social media using Instagram or X or Facebook or TikTok or Threads too, right?
Yeah, the Threads.
All of them is at TVC Entertainment.
Of course. Make sure you join the conversation also using the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC. We love hearing from you and knowing your thoughts about everything we talk about on this show. Now let's get into what we have lined up for today.
Samuel Olaoluwa is a dynamic, astute, and all-round educational professional. He is a life coach, motivational speaker, author, and so much more. He's going to be on our parenting segment today, understanding the mathematics phobia.
Very important.
Now, this is a big deal for me, and I don't want to start crying now because they've changed mathematics so much over the years.
Yeah.
So who is having the phobia now? Is it the parents or the kids?
Of course, the kids. I had mathematic phobias growing up as well.
It's the parents that
Okay,
have
so
the
you pass
phobia.
it down to the kids, right?
Exactly. Don't worry, we'll talk about this later.
And right after that, we'll switch gears to a health conversation with Dr. Chibuki Aigbe, now a seasoned medical doctor with over 12 years of experience in clinical and administrative medicine. Now, she is passionate about promoting universal health for women and improving healthcare quality and access in Nigeria. She will be sharing insights on demystifying IVF, the new realities. Yeah.
Interesting. And for music lovers, of course, will be joined by Overskills. He is one of Nigeria's foremost gospel lyricists and a Jesus rapper to the core. He is the host of one of the biggest gospel hip-hop concerts in Nigeria, Hip Hop Goes to Church. And he'll be bringing some of that right here on set.
And finally, we'll be joined by Nahita, who happens to be a model, right? She'll be here telling us about all of that amazing journey in the modeling and pageantry industry, right? She also doubles as Miss Elite.
Miss Elite, yeah.
Miss Elite 2024.
Oh. She's also a filmmaker, yeah? So, and we've already met her this morning. She has a beautiful smile. Can't wait to hear about her journey.
Are you okay?
It's okay, I just tired. Tired.
You don't look okay. Huh?
Okay!
What's in the alley?
Hi, Joy.
You have to tell her this time around, Ene.
My name is Femi.
Thank you. I don't want any friends, but are you sure?
I'm extremely sure from the first day I set my eyes on you, I knew you were the one.
Yay!
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. That was In Her Shoes.
Okay, yeah.
She's a producer also of that.
So yeah, correcting myself. So it's Miss Ideal. So she
Miss
happens
Ideal.
to be Miss Ideal Nigeria 2024. You see, pregnant girls, we're doing a lot of this.
I'm telling you, there just seems to be quite a lot of crowns these days.
Yes.
Quite a lot of sashes, but also quite a lot of opportunities for young men and women to showcase, you know, the beauty and intelligence and culture of Nigeria.
Yeah. Now
all over the world.
speaking about opportunities for young men and women, so I happened to watch a movie over the weekend I felt was really interesting.
Okay.
Hidden Figures.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen it? I'm talking about mathematics as well.
Taraji
P. Henson, yes.
Amazing.
And was that
I'm trying to remember the name of all the actors.
Yeah, I can't. Anyways, it was an amazing movie. I mean, literally taking us into the world of NASA when the first rocket from America was literally launched, and the role black women literally played, and how tough it was for them to struggle and get that opportunity. Yeah. I mean, I never thought it was that bad. I mean,
I'm
colored
very
toilets.
grateful of the time we actually are living.
Colored toilets?
Yeah. So there was a time in the US where there were colored bathrooms. Not a lot of people in this generation would know about that. meaning that it wasn't just male and female, but there were actually toilets for colored people.
And buildings for
buildings for them.
The colored people didn't work in the same buildings as the white guys.
So in the end, there was a particular scene where I remember she had to walk for
She had to run in the rain.
to go to the bathroom,
And
then
with her
she was
files because she
chastised
did
for coming back
Yeah.
late.
Give it to the man. I loved it.
Well, but it was after a while that she was able to gather that courage, because
she
it
did
was
eventually.
unheard of for.
But I think another thing that actually caught my eye was the fact that we saw the roles that white male, actually played in giving them the opportunities to literally step up to. I mean, she was a brilliant mathematician. Is that what, if that's what I'll call her? And literally did the formula for them to actually go off to space and land back on Earth. It was amazing. Black woman did that.
But there's a genuine admiration for a lot of Black African scientists, mathematicians all over the world now, because
Brain is there.
it's there. It's just how we apply it sometimes that makes you a bit, let's put it that way. But hey, we have to look at what the weather is saying. We'll be back after this.
Thanks for staying with us. My name is Winfrey Agbeleshi, and it's time for the news. We begin from the presidential villa, where President Bola Tinubu has directed the immediate release of 52 minors detained during the nationwide protest in Kano and Kaduna states on the 3rd of August. Now, the Minister of Information, Idris Mohammed, revealed this on Monday while briefing State House correspondents. He also disclosed that the President Tinubu has instructed the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs to ensure the welfare of the minors and ensure they are reunited with their families. He said President Tinubu ordered the establishment of an administrative committee to review the minors' arrest and treatment. Idris Mohammed also conveyed the president's directive that law enforcement agents involved in the detention will be investigated with disciplinary action to follow if any infractions are discovered.
Mr. President, because of his very deep commitment to democracy and the rule of law, and he has directed the immediate release of all the minors that have been arrested by the Nigerian police. The President has also directed the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction to immediately see to the welfare of those minors and also take part to ensure their smooth reunion with their parents or guardians, wherever they.
On other matters, President Bola Tinubu has declared that Nigeria's economic recovery is on the horizon, highlighting that the government is on a promising path to bring prosperity. He said this at the swearing-in ceremony of 7 newly appointed ministers in Abuja. TVC News State House correspondent Femi Akonde reports.
The newly appointed ministers take the oath of office, administered by President Bola Tinubu. They are being onboarded at a time of significant economic reforms that has taken its toll on citizens. President Bola Tinubu acknowledged current economic challenges, but assures again that he will provide the required leadership to steer the ship of governance.
We are working hard, you'll be part of people who will receive criticism and abuse. Don't worry. Stay focused. Stay resilient. Your thank will come with the history of growth and prosperity for this country.
The directives from the president will be cascaded down to the entire Federal Executive Council and the executive arm of government.
We'll have people, new people on board who will also support the effort of government to ensure that the momentum is not lost.
I believe in these new ministers. We all heard and read their citations. They come with a very rich pedigree, and they've been fixed in ministries that actually almost tailored to their experiences, both professionally and in life generally.
After undergoing rigorous Senate screening, the new ministers have been cleared to serve the nation in their designated roles.
The most important thing with the trade agreement is to make sure that we go after optimizing the AFCFTA for Nigerian businesses, which means pragmatically supporting them at this time to export their products.
We bring them into the administrative initiatives and use them also to forge strategic partnerships with financial institutions all over the world that would in no small way enhance the workings and the service delivery.
We migrate them from where they are into properly unbundling that sector to ensure, one, sufficient and adequate food and nutrition for the country, safe operating environment for all the stakeholders in the country, as well as making the sector very, very attractive for foreign direct investment.
President Bola Tinubu has declared that Nigeria's economic recovery is on the horizon. The 7 newly appointed ministers will complete President Bola Tinubu's team that makes up his federal cabinet. But beyond the euphoria of their new appointments, the task ahead of them in the coming days is daunting. Femi Akonde, TVC News.
And on the foreign scene, U.S. presidential candidates Donald Trump and Kamala Harris pushed their closing messages to voters yesterday, the last day of campaigning before America decides its next president today. Both candidates were in a final sprint across key battleground states, with Mrs. Harris campaigning in Pennsylvania and Mr. Trump at North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. On Sunday, Harris vowed to do everything in her power to end the war in Gaza, while Trump made claims without providing any evidence of election fraud in Pennsylvania. Mr. Trump also suggested at a rally that he wouldn't mind if a potential assassin tried to shoot through the fake news. His campaign says the remark was misinterpreted. The poll suggests the race is still exponentially close, and more than 78 million people have already voted. And that's all we're taking on the news for this hour. Do stay with us. So much more coming right here on Wake Up Nigeria.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
behind the Plastic Niger Challenge essentially is around creating eco-conscious citizens, young minds, engaging young minds to understand the problem of waste plastic management and how to recycle properly and how to ensure that the waste plastic that is indiscriminately dumped all over our environment is reduced. Well, we do hope that government will bring up a lot of legislation to control the indiscriminate use of plastics and the indiscriminate management of plastics. We hope that will make great impact. But in the meantime, we also know that Nigerian citizens also need to start taking personal responsibility.
I feel like it's a brilliant approach actually, because we see these problems every day in our school, especially our school. We drink a lot of. We saw that we wanted to do this program. We actually accepted this program because we saw that our school was also a major contribution to plastic pollution, because we see bottles littered around. So we thought it was a brilliant approach to help solve those problems.
So I plan to help plastic reduce. My team and I basically made interlocking tiles out of wasted plastic to help reduce the amount of plastic in Nigeria, so we can use it in estate roads and places like other areas. So that's how we plan to do it.
First and foremost, the Mind the Plastic Waste Challenge is a very nice innovation that we actually look into, helping to minimize the amount of plastic waste that's generated in Lagos State, as we know that Lagos State actually generates a lot of plastic waste due to the population of people in it. I think with our own school and what we've engaged in, we've been able to get some plastic waste and actually make materials, creative materials that are actually useful at home, so that we can actually, a form of converting waste to wealth. So that is our major focus.
One thing that we use is plastics, whereby the parents bring in plastics to exchange for educational value. So this is what we've been doing since 2019, and we hope to expand. And our contribution is making sure that we've been able to teach the kids that we work with what it means to be responsible for the environment. And the community has also been actively involved in what we do. And so far, we've grown our student base from 4 to our present number of 250, and we hope to expand.
To create this, firstly, we thought of the biggest plastic bottle we could find in half.
Making this artwork was collecting different bottle caps and plastic sources. It took about 4 days to complete.
Yes, so it is Tuesday. Welcome, MM.
Thank you.
I'm loving the pinstripe, I have to say.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I
love stripes, actually. I'm stuck on it. I love stripes. Of any color, I absolutely love them.
Okay, so you're going to love it when I say, yes, the Stars and Stripes flag is flying all over the world today. Why?
I love what you did with
Yeah.
it.
Why? Because today is 5th of November. The U.S. election is happening today, which basically means that, all the markets are going to be on pause. I'm talking stock markets, trades, everything on pause. Everyone is waiting with bated breath to find out who is going to take the White House. Now, is it going to be former President Trump, or is it going to be President Vice President Kamala Harris? Goodness me, it's been very dramatic in the media all over the world. But I just wanted to touch on how different this election feels for me. I feel like it's no longer really focused on what the people want. It's about what the candidates have been saying that they're giving and showing in the media, and it feels very media-driven. It doesn't really feel so people-driven like former elections have been in the past. It might be because everyone knows Trump to be someone who has always understood media, and he's always been very controversial, and he actually was in the White House people didn't even believe it the first time he went around for election and won.
Yeah.
And apparently the polling is kind of neck and neck, according to all the polls they've been doing.
Yeah, it's quite close, which is quite, would we say surprising? Because a lot of people actually agree and sort of are in line or in tune with Donald Trump's policies, especially his immigration policy laws. I mean, they would stand with him just for that alone. I even know, funny enough, I got into a conversation with someone, funny enough, who is also an immigrant in the U.S. Last week, and he was saying that as much as he agrees with, his immigration policies, because he also knows because of how controversial he is, that's as a person, he wouldn't, that's the only reason why he wouldn't, be voting for him. And then there have also been conversations around Kamala Harris being a female, and why a lot of countries are not exactly in support of, her candidacy. But then people also forget, that's also because they're skeptical. And which of course is valid, but then they also forget that this woman was a district attorney for years. She was a defense attorney. She fought crimes in a state, what was that, California, which has, one of the highest gang violence, history in the history of the U.S., and then she fought, strongly, against crime in that state for a really long time. So in terms of,
I'm going to stop you there because, there's so many different things that go into an election. I was going to touch on the fact that she is a woman. And my question to Winfrey is, yes, do you think the U.S. is ready for a female president?
I think any country is ready for a female president.
You're sure about that?
Yes, I'm very sure about that.
Okay.
Because first of all, the men have done it for years and...
Wow, subtle.
But, of course, it's always a situation where they doubt the candidacy of a female, what is going to be like, right? Because initially, the issue when she was the vice president, the issue was that, she wasn't knowledgeable enough, she wasn't political, she wasn't so exposed to it. But I will say she has actually proved herself, because when the polls actually started, initially before, she did a lot of campaigns across, and all of she literally has everything. If you put, to be honest, now not remove man or woman, if you line up their qualifications, come on. She's literally been in the state service to the country for years. Now, I won't actually outrightly say that, we looked for Trump when it came to military service. He dodged. Even his kids dodged. But I'm just saying, right? And if you look at the pedigrees of other past U.S. presidents, right? We literally see, even right now, we have Biden. We see as a military and in military service, his family, his son, he literally even losing.
It's important for him to understand that aspect of things because of the troops they will inevitably have to send on duties outside
Of course,
America.
And also even talking about the world peace generally, because I know I saw a lot of conversations on social media and people talking about how U.S. election concern Nigeria. I'm like,
you have no idea.
You are not, you're totally clueless. But then again, I'm totally looking up to it. Over 78 million people have already voted. And I picked a few cues from Nigeria this year. There were some states where they were burning ballot boxes. And doing
there
were some states where they were actually burning ballot boxes and all of that. So, but then again, of course, there've been a recovery of all of that. They provided ballot papers for people to cast their votes again and all of that. And of course, Trump, being Trump, is already crying foul, talking about electoral malpractices in some states.
Which
and all
was
of
expected.
Which, it was Trump now. After January 6th.
But people have to also realize how huge the United States actually is. And the reason why the voting takes such a long time, because literally you can fly for 3 hours plus across the U.S., if not more, across the U.S. So it's a case of making sure that everyone in every state gets a chance to
And it makes sense. And I think that's something Nigerians should be thinking about, because with over 200 million people, you cannot say one day for a presidential election and you think that INEC will be able to cover all states at the same time. I think it's, division of labor and the processes definitely will help.
We're definitely looking out for who takes the White House. Is it going to be Kamala Harris or is it going to be Donald Trump?
Can't wait.
And I think that conversation around is it a woman ready? Yes, I think we are.
Yeah,
we have proven over the years that we are. So yes, we are ready. So let's go.
There are a lot of other conversations. We'd love to hear your thoughts on it. However, you can use our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC and let us know. Let's take a quick break, guys. We'll be back.
Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Welcome to Warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of Your View are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
Hey, we're at the waterside in Eco Atlantic City celebrating 25 years of a fashion brand, Tiffany Amber, and they're reinventing their fashion discovery over the years. And the theme of this particular event is Collection 25. So come with me as we show you amazing pieces from this particular fashion brand.
forward to glamour, Lagos women on perfect display, non-restraint, and just the sheer amount of talent that Nigerian designers have today and creativity.
If I could say, I would say fashion as an art form. So I'm expecting to see different textures, colors as well, because that's a staple for Antifolake. Yeah, so textures and colors.
It's a brand that always stands out, not because of just its uniqueness, but its futuristic approach. It catches your eyes. If you're a lover of fashion, from the first time you see Tiffany Amber, it sticks, you know. And Tiffany Amber as a brand represents anywhere in the world.
I would say two things: easy
and sophisticated. She has a thing with colors, and I'm really looking forward to the runway today.
I think she's going to take us on a powerful journey of her evolution as a designer, as a creator, but also as a brand that is timeless in every season and that also promotes Africa and Nigeria. I'm wearing Tiffany Amber today.
Today, it's about the creativity. It's about the true passion of Lagos. So people ask, why do you turn up at all of these shows? I turn up because that is one of the cardinal objectives of our government. Government is supposed to be an enabler. We're meant to present ourselves and create an ambience and an opportunity for the private sector to flourish, to do well, and to blossom. And the creative industry is one industry that we saw it from the beginning, that is one area that this government needs to support with everything that we have. To support with our policies, with our programs, with our choice of appointments, and of course, support with our appearance, and ensure that we also give the support financially when we're backing up. But today is about fashion. Yesterday it was about art. The day before it was about culture. The day before it was about entertainment. The day before it was about another form of tourism. And so it's not just out of place that Lagos is pristine as the commercial, tourism, economic, political nerve center of our country.
I say the atmosphere is electric. It's beautiful. The fashion, the people, it's all wonderful. Tiffany Amber has been there consistently pushing her creativity. What can I say? Of course, she will kill it.
I love the event. It was so special. The choir, the show, the fashion. It was really, really special. And I love the story about the art designer, yes.
I remember her shop from the Palms shopping mall, and I got first my 3 dresses when I came to Nigeria from her shop, and the show was just impeccable. I love it.
What an incredible night. And as the lights go down on this beautiful celebration, we're not just reminded of 25 years of Tiffany Amber, but of a journey of innovation, creativity, and fashion in Nigeria and beyond.
Lovely designs there by Tiffany Amber. Absolutely enjoyed every piece. And now that we've brought you fashion, now we bring you food. They say food is the way to a man's soul.
You know.
They say it's a way to a man's heart. If you want to win a man's heart, give him food. I feel like food solves every problem, even when you're angry.
You know.
Just eat. Welcome to the kitchen, guys. With me this morning is Chef Natura Young. You always know that I like to sing their names into a song because I like food. And that's just the way they warm their way into my heart every time I see them with beautiful recipes as this. So this morning, guys, we are making geese dodo.
Yeah.
Right? Fantastic. So let's talk about the ingredients.
Actually, it's just a very simple food.
Okay.
You know, at this time that everybody's dancing to T-Pain, you need to cut your body to your size. You get what I'm saying?
We're smiling.
So now, the ingredients are just very, very little. Okay. The basic thing is just the gizzard, the plantain, you know, this pepper combination, this cut bonnet, the fresh tomatoes, onions, and we have the ring bell peppers to garnish with the spring onions and the seasonings.
Okay. Now let's talk about the seasonings we're using. What seasonings are we using?
Just basic seasoning. This is the curry powder, the thyme, the salt, and the seasoning powder.
And the seasoning, and then we have our geese dodo.
Yeah.
Now for our gizzard, rather, sorry, I meant to say gizzard. For our gizzard, what other alternative can we use?
No, for this particular delicacy, it's geese dodo. So it's just the gizzard and the plantain.
No, so I'm saying, for example, someone watching right now who cannot afford gizzard, what else could they use? What other protein can they use?
The only thing I think can be fused to this right now is maybe beef.
Yeah,
you know.
or chicken.
I don't really know about chicken because, no. But
it doesn't work.
Yeah, but the beef is still closer to...
Okay, fantastic. So, if you're just joining us, guys, with me in the kitchen is Chef Natura, and this morning he's making geese dodo. If you missed out on the ingredients, they're right there on your screen. We have our gizzard, which is the star ingredient for this recipe. We have our plantains, vegetable oil, green and red bell peppers, spring onions. For our seasonings, we have curry, thyme, salt, and our seasoning cubes, onions. We have atarudo here.
Yeah, Scotch bonnet pepper.
Scotch bonnet. We have our tomatoes, and of course, the plantain is another important and very, very salient ingredient right here for this recipe. So where do we begin? First off, what are we doing with the tomatoes and the pepper?
Yeah, we're going to blend that into some rough mix.
Okay.
With little onions.
Okay.
But the first thing is to marinate. We'll have to cut this into some little chunks.
Okay.
So we're going to marinate this with the seasonings. Okay. And we proceed to frying the plantain.
Okay.
And we'll do the mix. It's just a very simple...
It is simple. Now for the plantains, how are we chopping them?
Yeah, it's just a normal, you know, cubes.
It's cubes,
yeah,
right.
But it has to be in uniform.
All right, great. So I'm going to go back to the ingredients, to the seasonings for a minute. Why? Because yesterday I went shopping, grocery shopping. And then when I got to the spice section, I was a bit conflicted. Why? Because, you know, when you go spice shopping or seasoning shopping at all, what comes to mind, or a must-have in every home, is our curry or thyme.
Yeah.
Right. So I was, you know, I was a bit conflicted as to, okay, what other extra spice can I add to my, you know, list of spices? I mean, because I have pepper soup spice, I have fried rice spice, I have jollof rice spice. I think I have another stew spice. And then I saw paprika got my attention.
Yeah.
And I was like, should I get paprika? Should I not get paprika? I was a bit conflicted.
But even normally what we're making right now, you can use paprika as part of
it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I think one of the things I was confused about was I wasn't exactly sure what kind of flavor paprika was going to give me and the role it's going to play. So I'm like, is this something I need to have, or is this something I'm just going to leave in the cabinet till it expires?
It just gives you food that twist, like not the regular taste you get.
Okay,
Once
gives
you
it a
had it,
distinct taste.
yeah,
Okay, so I guess I'll go back to the store and get it. Right.
not bad.
Okay. So now that once we're done chopping our gizzard, what's next?
I'll have to put this on. Once it is boiling,
Okay.
I'll just set oil aside to fry the plantain, which are the basic things, and I'll just blend my pepper, in a rough paste, and I'll just fry that and just mix all together once they're all ready.
Oh, okay. Very easy recipe, as Chef Natura said earlier on. This is something that I think there are a lot of things that you can do without. You can do without the red and green red peppers, right?
Just to garnish it and just give it a different taste,
Yeah.
It's necessary, though.
It's necessary, right? Yeah. All right, guys. The ingredients are right there on your screen once again. Grab a pen and paper and scribble them down. If this is one recipe that you'd like to make in the comfort of your home anytime, guys, we have got you right there. And if you're missing out on this right now and you don't know where to catch up on them, well, we've got you on YouTube. This is going to be aired later on YouTube, so you can just go right on YouTube and, get the recipe. If you're going to try this at home, remember to use the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC when sending in those videos or pictures. We'd like to know that you are a part of everything you're doing right here in the kitchen, guys, okay? Right now, we have to go on a quick break. The show continues in a bit. Stay with us.
Marina Station and all the passengers.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past few years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great...
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regular.
So let me for my jam results.
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
Okay, that's all we can take.
I choose to stay.
Close the show, Father.
Ladies and gentlemen, #1 unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for #1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
Welcome back. It's time for us to take our parenting segment this morning, and it's going to be an interesting conversation. We have Samuel Olaoluwa Fadare here with us. He's a dynamic, astute, and all-round educational professional. He's also a life coach, motivational speaker, and author. And on our parenting segment today, we're going to be discussing mathematics phobia. So now, my question is the phobia for the kids, or is it for the parents? Because yes, whenever math homework comes home, I think I'm the one that's the most afraid. Like, okay, so math homework, Mommy, can you help me with my math? I'm like, yes, darling, I can. And then I'm like, oh my goodness, what are they going to bring today? But, thankfully, we've been able to push through it. But you are coming from an educational background. Exactly. And you must experience so many different things with different parents.
Exactly.
So what is the most common conversation you have with parents on mathematics?
All right, thank you so much. There have been a lot of conversations about mathematics. Sometimes those parents will say, oh, I don't know mathematics, so I don't expect my children to know mathematics. Or maybe the reason why they have difficulty in mathematics is because I don't also know mathematics, like the parents do say. But we want to make sure that mathematics, the methodology, sometimes it's not about not knowing mathematics, it's about the right application, the methodology. A lot of parents, while growing up, the mathematics was just majorly theoretical. But nowadays, mathematics, which is also numeracy, is now practical. It is something that you can relate. For instance, when you are talking about profit and loss, money, it is people spend money every day. It's a means of exchange. So it is about relating mathematics to practical terms, to practical things. So most parents might not be able to relate that because of their own background experience. Because
I'm going to touch on two things. Now, first of all, the term numeracy.
Okay.
Why is it no longer called mathematics? Why is it now called numeracy for primary schools? Can you explain that?
Absolutely. Like some schools do still call it mathematics, but some schools that are Montessori based.
Okay.
You know, there are so many systems of education. There's a system of education called Montessori. And one of the primary subjects for Montessori is mathematics, which is numeracy. Okay. Now, numeracy is all about dealing with numbers. So that is why it is majorly called numeracy, because it deals with numbers. And mathematics is a subject that deals with numbers. So at the primary level, at the elementary stage, they're expected to be conversant with numbers. So that is why it is majorly called numeracy.
So I want to now touch on our background. You mentioned the parents' background and how they grew up with math.
Yes.
And it affecting our kids. So especially if maybe your math teacher was not very nice or very patient, there are a lot of people that had a tough experience with math, which even affected the path they took in life.
Exactly.
They didn't want to study math at all, and they took another career path because of it.
Yeah.
Now, for our kids growing up in our care, as parents, how do we objectively approach, this phobia for math? If your child shows signs of phobia for math, how do you approach it?
Okay, there are so many ways you can approach it. First of all, no matter your level or background in mathematics, one thing you must realize is that children at one stage or the other shows phobia for mathematics. Okay. So as a parent, it is about giving them the confidence. It's about giving them the belief. It's about giving them that, oh, this thing is not difficult. You can do it. And if you cannot help them, you can get someone that will be able to put them through, that will be able to help them. And even as a parent, you can also study mathematics. It is never late to study. You can always make research, find out of how to solve one or two things. Then you can impact that knowledge. Or if you can't do that because of your time, you can approach someone that will be able to put you through. Maybe a teacher, it could be a tutor, it could be an online teacher, or someone that can put you through on how it runs. Then when we teach mathematics, also teach us too. One of those things that is making children to be afraid of mathematics, to develop phobia, which is also called arithmophobia, is that a lot of teachers are not bringing to terms the fact that mathematics is not abstract. Mathematics is concrete. It's some things they can see. So as a math teacher, you should be able to relate all your experiences in class to physical things. For instance, you want to teach fraction now. You can bring an orange to the class, divide it, you can show them, oh, this is a part of it. Fraction means part of something. So by showing them that, the children, whatever they see, they remember. So, but before, mathematics was taught in terms of abstractly. People just say, oh, if you add this to this, you add x plus y. People will be like, where did x go to? Or where did y go to? That I'll have to look for it. But let us relate it to practical times. So when we relate it to practical times, pupils will be excited, learning and knowing mathematics.
Okay, so now using a whiteboard, a blackboard to teach math and actually working with materials. I'll call them materials. Now, for Montessori method, I believe it's materials.
Yes, instructional materials.
Exactly. Which one do you think will pay in the long run? Because these children are going to have to go and do exams.
Exactly.
And those exams are not going to have those materials in exams.
Exactly.
So how do you find the balance between the two?
Okay. Thank you very much, ma. Finding the balance between the two. Number one, at the elementary level, at age 1, 2, 3, you can start using the materials to teach them. Because once a child has a very good background in mathematics, the child will be able to, progress steadily. But when they don't have a good background in mathematics, you see that they have one or two challenges. So the first thing is that make sure that you use material at the elementary level, age 1, 2, 3, when the child is still developing the cognitive skills and the psychomotor skills as well. So once they develop that, from there, you can now start teaching them without the use of material or less materials in teaching
So maybe
them.
like what age? Maybe like from age 6?
From age 6, age 7, you can reduce the materials.
Okay.
But at the same time, you can show them videos, pictures. You know, there's something we call mathematics tricks. A lot of people don't believe that mathematics has a lot of tricks. There are a lot of tricks. Mathematics is not something that you just learn by cramming. It is something that you need to develop a knowledge on. You need to know it without, for instance, I can give you an example. For instance, for the 9 times table, there's a math trick for knowing 9 times table.
Okay.
Like you can write, okay, 9 times 0, 0.
Okay.
9 times 1, 1.
Okay.
2. So writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Down.
Yeah.
Then going up again. Write 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay.
You get the multiplication table of 9 times.
Okay.
So there are so many other practical examples by which people can know mathematics. So it is about the teachers retraining themselves and also training parents as well. Parents who need to be trained that mathematics is something that is possible and can be known.
So now I want to touch on parents that actually do understand math, maybe from another style or another generation.
Okay.
And these children are being taught in a different way. And as a parent, you're trying to teach this child in the way you knew, maybe counting sticks or counting fingers, for instance. In school, they don't do that anymore.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
They have other methods for
Exactly.
doing that.
Exactly.
How do parents now begin to adjust to the new methods that teachers are using to teach?
That is why the onus is on the school. The school needs to also educate parents. For instance, in the olden days or in some years past, where you can just use your, 4 divided by 2, 1, 2, 3. We don't encourage that again. Because actually it is for just people that are just trying to know mathematics, maybe people age 2, age 3. But as soon as you get to age 5, age 6, you don't need to start counting your fingers again.
Okay.
There are so many methods. For instance, if I say 2 times 3 is 6, if I ask you 6 divided by 2, that is 3. So you can do division. The inverse of division is multiplication. So we use all those methods and mathematics trick as well to teach and train pupils. So parents too need to be trained.
Okay.
So there are so many platforms by which parents can be trained. They can go online for training. There are so many mathematics courses online. And even schools too can organize seminars and lectures for parents just to put them in the 21st century world of education.
I like the way you put it there.
Yeah.
To bring everybody up to speed, to bring you up to par with your kids. Sometimes it feels like these kids are studying for PhD. Sometimes when I see the homework they bring home. But I appreciate you for coming to talk to us today. Thank you so, so much. We'll be talking more over the course of the month.
Thank you.
Okay, so our parenting segment is giving you assignments today. Go study some mathematics so you can help your kids with their homework. Tell us what you think about the conversation. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC and let us know. Now, I'm wondering how much homework has been doing with her kids, but I know she does a lot of cooking. How's it going over there?
See, don't call me out.
I should not call you out.
Do not call me out, because something very interesting happened to me yesterday, which I'll talk about later on. But hey, let's focus on our food this morning. This is Chef Natsura. If you're just joining us, you are welcome. And this morning he's making
Geese dodo.
Yeah, if you are a plantain lover or dodo lover, right, we have got you this morning. This is just another way to enjoy your dodo. Not every time with rice or beans. What else again do we use plantain for? Or with eggs. How else again? What else do we use plantain for again?
Plantain is just goes with almost everything.
No, I mean,
not swallow.
Yeah, even swallow, because I mean, you can actually use it as a swallow. Yeah, so
That's
you can use
when you
plantain
use
as a
the ripe
swallow.
one to...
Yeah, like you blend it and then use it as a swallow. It's a healthy option. A lot of people who are on a fit fam journey also use it. But let's focus on our geese dodo this morning. So talk about the ingredients and talk to us about how far you've gone.
Yeah, well, you can see I'm trying to boil the gizzard. And I'm already cut my plantain. I'm going to fry that too.
Okay.
So I'm going to set that aside and I'm going to make my sauce and we'll do the mix
those plantains are really, really chunky. Like for every plantain that you put in your mouth, it's going to be a real mouthful. Because I noticed that she chopped them the exact same size as
Yeah, it has to be uniform.
It has to be in uniform, guys. That's something that you need to pay attention to when cooking or when prepping your ingredients for your giz dodo. Okay, so we are going to fry our plantain. Are you salting it?
Yeah, it will be salted, slightly salted.
Slightly salted. So, did you also salt the gizzard?
Yeah, that's fully marinated. I have my English garlic in there, I have my curry, I have my seasoning powder, the salt, and the, and the
seasoning cubes.
And the seasoning cubes.
Fantastic. Breakfast is going to be ready in a bit. As you can tell, and as you can see, it's a very easy recipe. You just need just a few ingredients here and there, and you are good to go. If you're wondering where the tomato and pepper is, it's somewhere in the blender. We're going to crush it roughly in a bit, and then we are going to begin our sauce, which is the base for our giz dodo, in a bit. We're going on a quick break now. It is the top of the hour. We want you to stay with us. We'll be right back.
Bastion HMO.
Thank you. Now that.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions.
We are back.
Welcome.
To the second half of Wake Up Nigeria, your favorite TV breakfast show.
Yes, sir.
And of course, Chef Natsura.
That's the last one. What
still
did you
hard
leave
at
with
work? Yeah.
What?
Ensuring that our dodo comes together really nicely. So tell us what you're doing right there.
Yeah, I've just salted my plantain and I'm trying to give it a golden brown fry. And
I'm making giz
my
dodo.
gizzard is getting tender.
Giz dodo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
So.
What?
Talking about the parenting.
Oh, the math conversation.
Right. So yesterday something interesting really happened.
Yeah.
Elsie comes to me, which of course it was quantitative reasoning.
Oh.
Yeah. So she needed me to help her with it yesterday, and I just woke up and my brains were still booted. So I just told her, you know what? If you're not able to do it, I can't really help you with it.
Okay.
But I really couldn't, because it took a lot of, it was going to take some level of reasoning, which of course I just woke up, I didn't have the level. Anyway, in a nutshell, because I couldn't help her with it, this girl writes me a note saying, Mommy, I love you, and I understand that you do not understand the subjects. If not, you would have helped me with my homework this morning.
I love it. I absolutely love the energy. She's giving you
very understanding.
She's giving you a Pro Max.
Exactly. She's giving you what you need.
But you know what's fascinating about it? The truth is, I don't think I would have approached it in that manner.
Wow.
She added a little bit of, she's good emotional intelligence.
Exactly.
So me, I would have said, you don't know the homework.
That's why I said Pro Max. She gave me the upgraded edited version.
Oh, well.
Anyways, it's the second hour of Wake Up Nigeria. It's still Tuesday, and if you're just joining us, we definitely had an incredible first hour. But then again, don't worry, we have so much more still coming up right here on Wake Up Nigeria.
Yeah, we still have health and, of course, a lot of music, some delicious food. A lot here to keep you entertained, inspired, and so much more. Speaking of health, we are going to be having Dr. Chibuki Aigbe here with us. It's going to be a really interesting conversation, to be honest. IVF.
Yeah.
Demystifying the myths of IVF. A lot of conversations around that happen every single year, and we'll be finding out a little bit more later on.
Keep going.
And for our music lovers this morning, we'll be joined by Over Skills.
Yes, Over Skills. He is one of Nigeria's foremost gospel lyricists and a Jesus rapper to the core. Now, he's the host of one of the biggest gospel hip-hop concerts in Nigeria. Hip Hop Goes to Church. He'll be performing his latest single, and trust me, you definitely want to catch every bit of that performance.
And of course, we have Nehita, a young, vibrant filmmaker, actor, model, entrepreneur, and current winner for Miss Ideal Nigeria 2024. It's going to be an interesting conversation to find out what she's been up to. We can't wait.
Are you okay?
It's okay, I just tired.
You don't look okay. Huh?
Okay!
What's in the name?
Hi, Israel.
You have to tell her this time around, Ene.
My name is Femi.
Thank you. I don't want any friends, but are you sure?
I'm extremely sure from the first day I set my eyes on you, I knew you were the one.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, that actually brings to mind some trending controversy right now from Equatorial Guinea. But we'll get right into it.
Oh, wow. They're
check out
trending. They're trending. Let's just say they're trending.
Will be like today.
Thank you for staying with us. My name is Winfrey Agbeleche, and it's time for the news. We begin from the presidential villa, where President Bola Tinubu has directed the immediate release of 52 minors detained during the nationwide protest in Kano and Kaduna states on the 3rd of August. Now, the Minister of Information, Idris Mohammed, revealed this on Monday while briefing State House correspondents. Now, he also disclosed that the President Tinubu has instructed the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs to ensure the welfare of the minors and ensure they are reunited with their families. He said President Tinubu ordered the establishment of an administrative committee to review the minors' arrest and treatment. Now, Idris Mohammed also conveyed the president's directive that law enforcement agents involved in the detentions will be investigated with disciplinary actions to follow if any infractions are discovered.
President, because of his very deep commitment to democracy and the rule of law, and he has directed the immediate release of all the minors that have been arrested by the Nigerian police. The president has also directed the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction to immediately see to the welfare of those minors and also take part to ensure their smooth reunion with their parents or guardians.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has declared that Nigeria's economic recovery is on the horizon, highlighting that the government is on a promising path to bring prosperity. He said this at the swearing-in ceremony of 7 newly appointed ministers in Abuja. TVC News State House correspondent Femi Akonde reports.
The newly appointed ministers take the oath of office administered by President Bola Tinubu. They are being onboarded at a time of significant economic reforms that has taken its toll on citizens. President Bola Tinubu acknowledged current economic challenges, but assures again that he will provide the required leadership to steer the ship of governance.
We are working hard. You'll be part of people who will receive criticism and abuse. Don't worry. Stay focused. Stay resilient. Your thanks will come with the history of growth and prosperity for this country.
The directives from the president will be cascaded down to the entire Federal Executive Council and the executive arm of government.
We'll have people, new people on board who will also support the effort of government to ensure that the momentum is not lost.
I believe in these new ministers. We all heard and read their citations. They come with a very rich pedigree, and they've been fixed in ministries that actually almost tailored to their experiences, both professionally and in life generally.
After undergoing rigorous Senate screening, the new ministers have been cleared to serve the nation in their designated roles.
The most important thing with the trade agreement is to make sure that we go after optimizing the AFCFTA for Nigerian businesses, which means pragmatically supporting them at this time to export their products.
We bring them into the administrative initiatives and use them also to forge strategic partnerships with financial institutions all over the world that would in no small way enhance the workings and the service delivery.
We migrate them from where they are into properly unbundling that sector to ensure, one, sufficient and adequate food and nutrition for the country, safe operating environment for all the stakeholders in the country, as well as making the sector very, very attractive for foreign direct investment.
President Bola Tinubu has declared that Nigeria's economic recovery is on the horizon. The 7 newly appointed ministers will complete President Bola Tinubu's team that makes up his federal cabinet. But beyond the euphoria of their new appointments,
And on the foreign scene, U.S. presidential candidates Donald Trump and Kamala Harris pushed their closing messages to voters yesterday, the last day of campaigning before America decides its next president today. Both candidates were in a final sprint across key battleground states, with Mrs. Harris campaigning in Pennsylvania and Mr. Trump at North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. On Sunday, Harris vowed to do everything in her power to end the war in Gaza, while Trump made claims without providing any evidence of election fraud in Pennsylvania. Now, Trump also suggested at a rally that he wouldn't mind if a potential assassin tried to shoot through the fake news. His campaign says the remark was misinterpreted. The polls suggest the race is still exceptionally close and more than 78 million people have already voted. Go on. Keep going. And over to sports. Now, match day 10 of the English Premier League ends on Monday with Brentford taking on Fulham. Arsenal sporting director Edu has resigned from his position and agreed a deal in principle to take up a role with Nottingham Forest owner Evangelos Marinakis. Now, the 46-year-old previously worked as the Corinthians and Brazil in a similar position. The role he will be taking on under Marinakis is not a role many football organizations have. Now, precise details of the role are to be confirmed as a formal deal is still to be finalized. Now, Marinakis' group of clubs includes Forest, Olympiacos and Rio Ave. And in the future, potentially a fourth club they are looking to buy in Europe. Edu played for Arsenal between 2001 and 2005 and won 2 league titles, with one coming as part of the Invincibles team of 2003 and 2004. And that's all we're taking in news and sports in this hour. Do stay with us. So much more to come right here on Wake Up Nigeria.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regulars.
So let me go and for my jam results.
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
Okay, that's all we can take.
I choose to stay.
Close the show, Father.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1 unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
And we are back. Thanks for staying with us. It is our health segment right here. And Dr. Chibuki Aigbe is a seasoned medical doctor with over 12 years of experience in clinical and administrative medicine. And today, of course, she's passionate about promoting universal health for women and improving healthcare quality and access in Nigeria. Today, we talk about a very, very, very salient topic that a lot of women are currently dealing with, and that is demystifying the myths around IVF. How are you doing this morning?
Hi, I'm really good. Good to be here.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
First, let's talk about what IVF is for, someone watching right here who doesn't seem to understand what it means.
IVF, the acronym IVF is in vitro fertilization, which is fertilization outside the body. It is an assisted, method of reproducing, having kids. That's what it pretty much is. So instead of you having spontaneous intercourse, you would have to go to a hospital or a clinic, a seasoned or certified clinician to actually help you to have a child. Yes, that's what IVF is.
Okay, let's talk about some of these myths that we are referring to. What are myths? I think that's something else we need to identify. So there's so much is like, okay, what are they talking about?
Myths, what's not true. So what you see on this, what you hear on the streets,
rumors,
what you assume is the truth, but is not the truth. So those are myths.
Okay.
And there are a lot of it when it comes to IVF. Yeah.
Let's hear some of them, please.
People always say you have to first go to church first
church?
Yes, to try and have a child. IVF is for the unbelievers. IVF is for people who don't believe in God. IVF is really and truly, you can, any couple can decide to have a child regardless of what religion, inclination you belong to. And it's important to know that you have an option. Another very common myth is that you have to have, so you have to have waited, you have to have tarried, you have to, so you see people coming in their late 40s, late 50s. So let me backtrack a bit.
Okay.
With fertility is, for lack of a better word, time sensitive. Okay, so you get, because especially for both, so we've always known that women have what we call a biological clock, right?
True.
But men also have a biological clock.
Yeah.
And because of our poor health-seeking behaviors and habits in Nigeria, we would always come late. So people believe, you should try other things before you explore IVF. But at the time you're coming late, you're unable to get your optimal gametes, so your sperm, your eggs, you're not going to get the best of it. And that would also affect the success of your IVF.
Let's break it down a bit, right? A young couple in their 20s who just got married, I would say late 20s, right, who just got married. At what point in that union should they begin to explore IVF? When does it become an option?
I would even say before that young couple gets married. So when you've proposed or when the conversations are getting serious and you're talking about getting married, what we preach in clinic is that you know where you are. Know where you are first. That way, if you're having any, if you know where you are, investigations are done, tests are run, and you see there's some difficulty, concerns, that doesn't mean the relationship ends. It shouldn't end your relationship. However, you know that you have to make purposeful decisions as you begin your journey together.
Okay.
So now you're married, you go to, you present at the clinic, we check, the man's ability to have a child, same thing as the woman. So that's where your journey even begins.
Okay.
So whatever you find, that now informs, whether, I mean, there's so many things you can do. You can have an IUI, you can find, most times you can just have a timed intercourse, where we tell you this is when you should meet with your partner. We can have what we call interuterine insemination, which is a step before IVF. So we'll get the sperm and just, make sure that the woman is at the right time, her ovulation, and you push in the sperm. Or you have an IVF ICSI, what we call intracytoplasmic sperm injection, where we pick one egg, one sperm, and we inject the sperm into the egg, unlike the traditional IVF, where, you know how we used to say you put the egg in a petri dish and you put the sperm? So that's what IVF is. You put the egg in a petri dish, you put the sperm and let the sperm, find its way into the egg. But ICSI, intracytoplasmic sperm injection, you take one sperm, you take one egg, and you inject it in. So those are the options.
I know that we've sort of veered off of demystifying some of the myths, right? But then I'm thinking as a viewer right now, because the common misconception with IVFs are they're expensive, accessibility, right? So how accessible are these options? If I walk into a general hospital now, are these options available to me? How affordable are they?
Okay. So health, first and foremost, I'll start with the first question, which is it accessible? Yes. There are clinics, there are hospitals, even general hospitals, state hospitals, federal hospitals, teaching hospitals offer assisted reproduction, IVF to be specific.
Okay.
But with health, each center has its own latest equipment, most qualified staff. So that assignment you will need to do.
Okay.
And really and truly, health is not cheap. So you would have some hospitals costing more than others, depending on the services and how they go about the IVF. And also, very thankfully, there are some commercial banks that offer
loans.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, they do offer loans with very, marginal interest when it comes to financing your fertility.
Another common myth is for IVF, you need to keep trying and trying and trying. Like after, you have to have multiple trials before it eventually happens. And then there's also another myth, like it's a sort of adjoining questions that after you have had your IVF to the point where you are able to conceive, it just opens you. It's like a floodgates being open to, you know, children. How true is that?
So for the first one, I missed that again. What was the first question?
The first question was, how often do we need, how many times do we need to?
So remember that without even any assistance, all you need is one egg and one sperm, correct? Now with IVF, you're assisting, even in people who have, you know, normal cycles, there's no pathology with their reproduction. It's not magical. If you say you want to get pregnant it's not clockwork that you will get pregnant this month.
Yeah.
So yes, you may require more than one cycle, but same thing with if you are having unprotected regular sex, you might require to do that multiple times before. But you start to count it because you're paying.
I understand
You
that.
start to count it as first cycle, second cycle, because you're having to pay. But even if you didn't have to and you were going to get pregnant.
Now let's quickly address the next question before we wrap it up.
So the next question is, why does it seem like? Yeah, sometimes your body might just need a jump start.
So the IVF is a jump start that your body
could be a jump start.
Okay.
Yes.
This has been quite insightful. IVF is a very sensitive topic.
Yes, it is.
It is a topic, it's very sensitive for a lot of couples actually, and it also has its psychological effects that I think we also need to talk about. Unfortunately, we do not have the time, but I'm hoping that it's something that we can address in the next time when you come. Thank you so much, Dr. Chibuike,
it's a pleasure.
for enlightening us this morning. And that's it on our health segment for now. We have a performance coming right up. Overskills is right there. How are you doing, Overskills? Can you please use your microphone?
Yeah. Okay.
All right, fantastic. So Overskills is one of Nigeria's foremost gospel lyricists and a Jesus rapper to the core. He is the host of one of the biggest gospel hip-hop concerts in Nigeria today. Hip-hop Goes to Church. Now let's talk about the hip-hop gospel genre. That's a very interesting genre in the gospel industry in Nigeria. When it came, not everybody sort of accepted it because we are like, where is this coming from? Is it not sounding like secular music? Are we now allowing demonic genres into? Yeah, but quickly talk to us. Before you got to that point, how was your journey? What was your journey like? Talk to us about your experience before you got to that point where your music became acceptable.
At first, it wasn't easy because it takes a whole lot of conviction to do what you have to do.
Okay.
Hence, you have the leading of the Spirit of God in you, and you know what you're doing is in line with God's word. So you don't need any validation from anybody. You just have to do you.
You just hit that. You just answered the question, and I agree with you 100%. You know what? Take it away with your performance.
Oh, let's do this.
one of the biggest reality shows you will ever produce. Hi. Oh, yeah. As cute as they can be, even you need to take a break to take care of some of the other realities of life.
Are you okay?
It's okay, I just tired. Tired.
You don't look okay.
Huh? Okay! What's in the alley? Hi, Israel.
You have to tell her this time around, Ene.
My name is Fem.
Thank you. I don't want any friends, but are you sure?
I'm extremely sure from the first day I set my eyes on you, I knew you were the one.
Wow, amazing trailer there. In Her Shoes. And now we're joined by the director who made her directorial debut, the one and only Nehita Ofure Ireme. She is a young, vibrant filmmaker, actor, model, entrepreneur, and the current winner, Miss 20.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
And I have to say, what you have on your head is glorious. This is a crown. That's a crown. But this is not the... okay, so you need to make this one yourself.
Yeah, this is specially made for Queen Nehita.
Okay.
Yeah, it represents my culture from Edo State. Beads. So yeah, so this represents my culture.
Go all the way to Edo State to have it made, or was it made locally?
Well, it was made in Port Harcourt.
Okay.
Yeah, by Didi, and she made this in like 4 days.
Wow.
So
it is absolutely beautiful. So being mistaken about that, because you're a filmmaker and pageant queen, that's something not a lot of people see coming, you know. I'm thinking about what the process was like and how the pageant went. How was it for you?
Oh, it was really great, although it was very stressful because I had to juggle between being on set and running to do my task for the like childhood dream, and I really needed to like get it done at that moment. Yeah.
So sadly, you know, there is that ideology that, you know, ladies that go for pageants, you know, they're not as driven as they should be in other areas. But you've definitely shown prowess in directing. You have your own movie out now. But let's talk about your background. Did you go for formal training in filmmaking?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
So I started with acting classes at Royal Arts Academy.
Okay.
And after that, I went for filmmaking master's class where I did directing, producing, and all the sound design and all of that at Cap Film and Television
That's
Academy.
Kule Afolayan.
Kule Afolayan, yes.
Oh, wow. Okay, fantastic.
And after that, I went further for other master's class in directing, directing and acting at Afrif master's class.
Afrif. Now, Afrif is happening right now in Nigeria. And I think your film is part of this, right?
Yes, of course.
Go
it's
ahead.
screening tomorrow.
Amazing.
4 p.m.
Congratulations.
Come and see. Thank you.
Afrif is an amazing platform. Are you anxious about how the film is going to be received? Nervous at all?
You know, I've been holding myself for the past 3 days not to rewatch.
Okay.
Because I know I'm so much of a perfectionist. I know that if I watch, there will be something I want to touch. And I just don't want to be in that mood of, I should have done this, I should have done that. So I'm like, I've done it, and I'm ready to show it to the world. So it is what it is. Let everyone come and see it.
I really can't wait to see it myself. But let's talk about how you put this together, because you produce and direct. That's a lot of work.
It is.
But which aspects do you believe was the most challenging?
So the most challenging aspect for me on set was the acting, because I acted as well.
Okay.
And as an actor, I always like to stay in character and all of that. But being on set as a producer, as a director, it was really hard for me to get into character as an actor. Because we shot in July, and at some point, you know, the whole weather thing. At some point, it gets dark, and it's like it's going to rain. So as a producer, I start thinking, money. Like, if it rains, I'm literally going to lose money. How do I keep up with the shots for today? So instead of my mind to be on that scene as an actor and just, you know, remain in character, I'm already thinking, I'm already calculating. I'm taking my phone, I want to call someone, I want to do something. And then, you know, it was really a lot for me. Being my very first production, I really shouldn't have acted. I mean, I've done it, and I'm glad I did.
From what we see in the trailer, it looks really well shot. It looks really interesting. The storyline is also intriguing. But let's talk about the people that you had to, you know, involve in it, and their roles in the movie as well. Any support?
Oh, well, my cast and crew were really amazing people. You know, it was more like a family. You know, everyone was really to put in their best and just get the project going. And then I really have like great people, my mentors, my executive producer. He was literally there at every point. When it gets overboard and I'm like, need this on set, it would always be like,
fantastic.
And then it comes through. So everyone was really there. And then Kule and Folayo too, I went there, I needed equipment.
Wow.
We had like a whole lot of equipment. And, you know, the prices of the actual price compared to what they gave me for is nothing like.
Okay, so there was a lot of support.
There was a whole lot from like different angles. Everybody literally like, oh, Naita, you're going to do this. I will support you in any way. And it was really great.
Amazing. I'm loving that aspect of the story because, you know, it's like you're pursuing a dream. And now your dream has been put together. But, you know, you need people to support you on that journey. I'm thinking about the cast there. I saw Boma Afure in there. He's a real good actor, actually, and he used to be a model as well. So in both industries as well. When you were casting, did you have him in mind, or was he just, you know, available for you at that point in time?
Oh, well, so when the whole story thing started, I didn't really have him in mind.
Okay.
But then I sat down and I was like, who can play this Femi? Because I needed someone to give me that Femi character. So who can be Femi? Who can... Then I remembered, so I was just going through my story and I saw him posted something. You know, he always like his body open and all of that. I'm like, that is my Femi. So I picked up my phone and I called him. And he said, Nehita, I am going to be on set. I was like, Boma, you cannot not do this. You have to do this for me. And then he said, okay, of course, our friendship and all, I will be there for you. So that's how it has been with every other person. Even when they had things to do, they had to like push it aside to like be there for me.
Honestly, it sounds like it was an amazing production process. So have you heard any feedback so far, you know, that has been interesting to you? What have people been saying?
About the film?
Yes.
Well, a lot of people have not seen it yet.
Okay.
So most people are going to see it tomorrow and I'll get more feedback.
Okay.
But with the few persons that have seen it, they keep asking me, did you grow up like that?
Okay.
Was your lifestyle like that? Because so where I grew up from, you would hear women say things like, I am going through this because of you. So their children, they always be like, I'm suffering today because of you. I gave up my future because of you. And it kind of really annoys me because I feel like these kids were not there when you made your decision. Whatever happened, happened. You're an adult. Own up to it. Amazing. So it's something that has been in my head all through. At some point, my mom said it to me too.
Wow.
You know, she's going through all of this because of us. She's suffering because she needs to take care of her children. When their marriage failed, they'd be like, my marriage failed because of you. And that's one thing I always tell myself. I don't want to be that mother that would tell my children that I'm suffering because of you. Because they were not there when you met their dad.
I'm thinking about the storyline, and you've given us a little sneak peek into the storyline now. I don't want you to let too much out of the bag, but thank you so much, Nehita, for coming to talk to us today. We have something special in the kitchen that we'd like you to taste. Please, Queen Nehita, let's go.
Thank you.
This way. You have to tell her this time around, Ene.
My name is Femi.
Thank you. I don't want any friends. But are you sure?
I'm extremely sure. From the first day I set my eyes on you, I knew you were the one.
So cute. Oh, she looked so beautiful on
Yes,
this.
she did.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome to the kitchen, Nahita. This is Chef Natura, and this morning he's made for you giz dodo.
Giz dodo.
Luckily for you, it's all protein, no carbs. So you get to enjoy this wholesome goodness.
Yeah, it looks so good, Chef. Looks so good.
And
please have a taste. Please have a taste. Let us know what you think.
So lucky you don't have to count carbs.
Right.
Because we know how much work. Please.
First, I have to say, this looks really good.
It looks really good.
Okay, let's see.
I'm sure it does look, tastes good, as good as it looks.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God.
Yes. Oh, okay.
You like?
I love
Glad. That's what we like to hear, Chef Natura.
Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah.
And thanks to everyone who stayed with us on this episode of Wake Up Nigeria. It was a tantalizing Tuesday. Tomorrow will be a wonderful Wednesday.
It will.
We'll see you tomorrow.
7 a.m.,
Great day, people.
Bye.
Following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. At ShopX TV, our customers are the heart of everything we do. As a special thank you for your continued support, we are offering our customers 10% off on selected products from now till November 15th. That's right.